FOXSOUL, our voice, our truth. Our truth to me means our stories, our pain, our struggle, our love, us.
You're the only one for me. You're the only one I need. Can nobody make me feel the way you're making me feel? And girl, you know that love is real. Oh, you touch me and caress me. Hold on tight and don't let go. Baby, I'm about to explode. Oh yeah, baby. 'Cause all my love you can't control. See, I'll spend the night with you if you promise you will do all the things to make me scream. And you know just what I mean. 'Cause tonight you taste like ice cream. Yeah. Oh yeah. I wanna make you fall in love. Maybe touch the stars above. Really know it, be my friend. I'll come back and get it again. And again and again and again. Whoa, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, oh, baby. Baby, cheat me. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna explode. Can you feel my love? It's coming down. Oh, yeah. Beauty. Hey, ooh. Ooh, yeah. Tonight.
Who is Case? I'm a husband, a father, I'm a lover. I used to be a fighter. I love music. I always love music. I love listening to music. I love making music, and I love to have a good time. Well, I was raised in Brooklyn. I moved to Mount Vernon when I was about 17. So I just claimed New York because I was born in the Bronx, moved to Brooklyn when I was like 4 or 5, and then moved to Mount Vernon. So I'm from New York. Well, my dad is a singer. So I don't ever remember not singing. We have a thing in our family when the babies are born, when they get to be about 2, 3 weeks old, you hold them and sing to them. And usually the ones that try to sing back end up being able to sing. So like my son tried to sing back. My daughter looked at me like I was crazy. My other daughter tried to sing back. So it's kind of like a test that we had, but I never remember not singing. As far as influences, when I was a little kid, because my grandmother lived in the Bronx, so that's where I was born. So there was people like GQ. I don't know if y'all remember that. That was like the late 70s. They lived in the building across the street from me. When I moved to Brooklyn, the lady from BT Express lived downstairs. And when I moved to Mount Vernon, and this was like a turning point in my life, I always wanted to do music from the time I was a little kid. And one day I was in high school and I came outside and Heavy D was outside. And I was like, damn, this nigga's right here. So that made it real for me. So because back in them days, late 80s, all of the R&B stars was like Kashif. You had Whitney Houston, but they were like older. They wasn't from a hip hop type of generation. So when I saw people that I could actually reach out and touch, and then another time I went to a store, I saw Albie Shore in the store, and we started talking. And so me seeing that, I'm like, okay, now it's real to me, and now I could really go after it. It's not just a dream no more. And then I started talking to people. They was like, yo, so-and-so does music, so you can go over there and make a demo. I'm like, a demo? Okay, cool. So I started linking up with people, and I go to their house, and we make a demo. The first time I ever made a demo was with Kyle West. Kyle West and my man Exotic Dom, God bless his dad. He wrote a song for me called All Right. And I went to Kyle's house and I made the song, and I was like, oh, I'm on. I wasn't, but you know, that was my introduction into making music. That's the first song that I ever sang. I wasn't sure what I was trying to do, so I would link up with other people that sang, and they was like, yo, we sound good together. We should form a group. So I had a group called Future that we did. We did a couple of talent shows. And then me and my man Brian from the Bronx, we had a duo called Black. And you know, it was just trying to find myself, you know what I mean? And we were signed, we had a manager by this time. And there was a group that was on the same management company with us called La Day. And one of their members left, so they was like, well, we should put Case and Brian in La Day. At that point, I realized I didn't want to do a group anymore. And so Brian came to me and was like, yo, they got a record deal already. Would you feel some type of way if I left and joined the group? I'm like, nah, you know, you're going to be my nigga regardless. And to this day, we like that. So he went and joined La Day, and then I was solo, and I've been solo ever since. Well, signing to Def Jam, this goes back a little bit. So back in high school, Misa Hilton, the stylist, shout out to Misa, that's one of my best friends. We sat next to each other in English class. And so we used to talk, and you know, we in high school, we like, I want to do this, and she like, I want to do this. And by that time, she was a stylist. She had done Jodeci, she had done Mary at that time, and she was doing a lot of stuff. And she came to me one time, and she was like, you know, I see what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I want to help you. And so I'm working on my demo, and she got Faith to write a song on my demo called Don't Be Afraid. From that, I got signed to Kenny Smooth's label, Spoiled Rotten. They took it to Russell Simmons, who was looking for a male R&B singer. And Russell heard the song, he loved it, and he signed me from it. And the crazy thing about that is, LL Cool J is the first artist that Russell Simmons signed to Def Jam. I'm the last artist that Russell signed to Def Jam personally. So they can't take that from me. What Touch Me, Tease Me was the Spoiled Rotten side. And we made the record. Now, full disclosure, to this day, I can't tell you what's a dope up-tempo record. I don't fucking know. A slow record, I could tell you if it's a hit or not. And so we made Touch Me, Tease Me, and I'm like, and people is hearing it, they going crazy. I'm like, this shit is cool. Niggas like, this shit is fire. I'm like, yeah. Well, we did Touch Me, Tease Me on Christmas Eve of 1995. And Mary basically wrote the whole record, and then there was gaps in it. And so we all sat in a room and we filled in the gaps on the record. And so we was like, we're going to get a rapper on it. And so people was like, yo, we should try to get Biggie. We should try to get this. And then somebody, I don't remember who it was, like, we should get a female. So we went down the list. We was like, what about Lauryn Hill? What about Lil' Kim? What about this one? What about that one? And then I think it was Russell, honestly, might have been like, Foxy Brown is on Def Jam. And she had just did the Who Shot Ya remix. And we was like, you know what? We didn't even think of that. Because we went through Lauryn Hill, Lil' Kim, Left Eye, I don't even remember who else. So Foxy came to the studio, she heard the record, she loved it, and she sat down at the booth. Actually, I got a picture of me and Foxy in the studio, in the booth, doing Touch Me, Tease Me. I got a big ass 40 in my hand. And she did her rhyme, she wrote it like twice, changed it a couple times, and that was that. But that was Christmas Eve, 1995. See, my thing, you know how every artist has a story about first time I heard my song on the radio? That I don't even remember the first time I heard my song on the radio. What meant more to me was to hear a car riding past playing my song, because you can pay the radio to play your song. You can't pay a nigga to play your shit in his car. So it meant more to, I remember the first time I heard somebody riding past playing my song. First time I heard it on the radio, I don't remember that. At what point did I feel like we got one? Here's the funny shit. Everybody used to tell me, yo, when your shit come on in the club go crazy. And I'm like, word? Because I wasn't really a big club dude. And so they was like, you gotta come to the club one day. And one night I went to the club and he was like, watch when your shit come on. And the shit went crazy. That's what I always wanted. I didn't, cause the radio, I know how that goes. You know what I mean? So that, and people always be like, you don't remember that first time? And I honestly don't. And so I'm working on my demo and she got Faith to write a song on my demo called Don't Be Afraid. From that, I got signed to Kenny Smooth's label, Spoiled Rotten. But I got a dope story about the Don't Be Afraid shit. So we go to Faith's house. She wants me to hear the song. So me and my man KB, we in the crib, and Faith is playing the song, and Biggie walks in. Now he don't know us, so he looking at us like, she was like, oh, this is Case. You know, this is Misa's artist. I'm working with him, blah, blah, blah. So he's like, yeah, what's up? So he leaves. He has to go pick up the daughter. So we hear the song, we leave. Well, we get outside and the car battery dies. So we sitting outside their house for like 4 hours. So he leaves, comes back from picking up the daughter like 2 hours later, we still sitting there. So now we look real suspect. So he like looking, we like, yeah, you know, our shit, battery died, we waiting on a tow truck. And we talked about the shit later on after Touch Me, Tease Me came out. He's like, yeah, I remember that shit, nigga. But what signing the Def Jam, it was big for me, but at the same time, it was a little scary because I knew that Def Jam was a hip hop label. And the only R&B artist that they had at that time was Montel Jordan. So I was kind of worried about would they know what to do with me or whatever. But to be honest, I was just happy like, nigga, Russell Simmons. I'm at Russell Simmons' house. Like, he loved me. Nigga called my phone. Like, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I was a little nervous about the shit. Making the first project, to this day, I hate the first project. I'm just be honest. And I've said this before because, like I said, I was signed to Spoiled Rotten and then Def Jam. And so I had a lot of different hands in the pot. So most of that first album isn't me. You know what I mean? Because I would have an idea, but then I had to deal with the Spoiled Rotten side, and then they had to deal with Def Jam. And so that first album is not even probably, I guarantee you, it's my least favorite project that I've done. Everybody had their own vision for me. So the Spoiled Rotten side of it was like, yo, we need to make this record. We need to make songs like this. And then Def Jam is telling them, we need to make this. I'm the last man on the totem pole, and I'm a new artist. And so I couldn't really be an artist, quote unquote, because there's too much shit going on around me, and they're in charge. They pulling the strings. The first thing I was beefing with, remember I was signed to Spoiled Rotten / Def Jam. So I started beefing with them, and I really didn't want to be there anymore. And what happened was we found out, well, the lawyer at Def Jam found out that they never signed an agreement for my image and likeness. So technically, I could have sued them. They was like, if you want, we can just get you out that contract and you can come directly to Def Jam. So I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Because I could have sued them. I'd have been finished in the game, but I'm like, yeah, let's do that. And so then then I began to be able to be an artist because now that's less people. And Def Jam was like, just go do you. You know what I mean? And I think the best thing that happened to me from that is when Touch Me, Tease Me came out, I mean, Touch Me, Tease Me is like talking. And so what the buzz was is that I couldn't really sing. That shit did nothing but fire me up because everybody's like, yeah, that nigga's dope, but he can't really sing. Oh, I love hearing shit like that. I love that. I love that type of shit. I live for that. And so once I got out of the contract and went straight to Def Jam, that's when I started, was able to start doing what I wanted to do.
She was more than a woman, a goddess. down to see. And all I ever needed was a right hand loving me. For a while we were grooving, and love was on. But I still remember how it felt when love was gone. In a time picture book, oh yeah, was a photograph she took. Years ago, secret memories in her mind. How could love be so unkind? I don't know. Heartbreak time. My heart is breaking. Just yeah. Broken glass, yeah. Like a mirror revealing. I see what the woman is feeling. Was it someone from a distant past? Was it someone from a distant past? Way back long ago. 'Cause it's breaking my heart to watch her stare into the glass. As she turned through the pages, the tears rolled down her face. I could see her reminiscing why her life had to be this way. Then she stopped as she came to a page where her diary is. The smell of scent of and no rose from her lover, I suppose. In a time picture book, yeah, was a photograph she took. Secret memories in her mind. I don't know. Heartbreak time. My heart is breaking. Yeah, sing it, yeah. In a broken glass. Like a mirror revealing. What the woman is feeling. Was it someone from a distant past? 'Cause it's breaking my heart to watch her stare into the glass. Everybody sing. As she stares into the glass, I'll never be with you. Oh, nah. 'Cause you're lost inside the past. You just keep spinning. Oh, nah. As she stares into the glass, I'll never be with you. Oh, nah. 'Cause you're lost inside the past. The faded pictures in a broken glass. In a broken like glass. I feel it. What the woman is feeling. You, yeah. Was it someone from somebody, anybody? Yeah. 'Cause it's way back my heart to watch her stare into the glass. My God, this breaking. Faded pictures in a broken glass.
Faded pictures. Let's start with that. So, like I said, the narrative was that I couldn't sing. So one day I'm up at Def Jam and Leo Cohen is in his office. I used to just go in his office. I used to just bust up in his shit, just start talking shit. So I get in there, he's in there with Kedar Massenberg, who was Joe's manager at the time. So Kedar was playing Faded Pictures for Leo. And he was like, yeah, Joe, this is Joe's record, but he wants, another singer on it. So Leo's like, Kathy, send Case in here. He was like, well, Case is not a real singer. I had just done Happily Ever After. So he played Happily Ever After for him. Kedar was like, okay, my bad. And then he set up the studio time. So that's how Faded Pictures happened. Because that was the narrative. I can't really sing. And I think I had done Happily Ever After a week before that. He was like, he can't fucking sing. Okay, listen to this, you motherfucker. And he played it. He was like, okay, my bad, I apologize. So we did Faded Pictures twice. The first time we did it, we had a bunch of strippers in the studio. Yes, sir. Nah, nigga, it be like that sometimes, nigga. We had a bunch of strippers in the studio. Now let me tell you the bullshit that happened. So Joe had somebody meet him up there, and they handed him an envelope with like $20,000 in it. So I'm like, So he said he never played CeeLo. So I said, my man, he get the dice. We playing CeeLo. This nigga's cracking me, nigga. This nigga took like $12,000 off me. And this is why I don't gamble. Cause I'm like, all right, I put my watch up. I got my car keys. Niggas like, yo, all right, the game is over. I think that nigga hustled me. But after we turned it in, they was like, y'all sound drunk. I'm like, well, we wasn't drinking. Nigga, we was drunk as fuck. And so we had to go back and do it maybe a week and a half later. It was just me and him, and that was the record. Them being on soundtracks just happened. It would be like, at the time that I was ready to go, they had a new soundtrack. And the reason for doing it, a lot of people don't know that, is that if you put your record on the soundtrack, you pay half of the marketing budget and the movie company pays half. So that's less money that you got to pay out of pocket. And that's why so many, but the timing just happened like that. The quick turnaround for the next project was the fact that I didn't have the contract dispute in between. So at this time, I'm on Def Jam directly. So when I'm ready to go, I can go. And so as soon as, a matter of fact, while Personal Conversation was out, I started working on Open Letter, which that Open Letter is my favorite album, hands down, because that was the epitome of me being an artist and exploring shit and trying new shit. And the people I was working with was in the same boat with me. It was me, Redhead Kingpin, did like 3-4 songs. Shout out Redhead. Me and Bernard Bell, R.I.P. Bernard just passed. But I knew what I wanted to do, and I was able to just go to it with no interference. They was like, do whatever you want. You know what I mean? So I was just able to go. Tim and Bob did like half the album. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Like I was like in a zone that I'd never been in before. And I honestly haven't been in since. Honestly, I tell you who helped bring it out of me was Redhead. Because Redhead lived up the street from me, and we had the same musical like mindset. And so he would call me, I'd call him in the middle of the night, like, nigga, you know what I'm thinking? He'd be like, yo, come get me. Or he'd be like, yo, I'm coming to your house. And we just, in the middle of the night, and we just come up with some shit. You know what I mean? And that's the way it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? And he'd be like, yo, I got an idea. And I'm like, okay. I hear the idea, and then I go, like, to this day, we still bounce shit off each other, and we just go. Mentally, I'm ready to go. But then I ran into the business part of the music business again. And that's what happened. We had let me take you back to, so we put out Missing You. We put out Missing You. Missing You went to #1 for like 3 weeks. The next single was Not Your Friend. Not Your Friend is blowing up. It's going. And it's about to explode. Well, at the same time as Not Your Friend came out, they had a Cisco record called, is it Can I Live? I think it was Can I Live? Can I live? Can I breathe? Now, I know this to be a fact because we would be at the radio stations and Def Jam was trying to get both of the records played. The program directors would be like, we love Not Your Friend, but we don't like that record. I mean, Cisco's my dude, but it wasn't a hit. Well, what happened was I found out that Def Jam had spent so much money, because remember, that's Cisco's second album. They spent so much money on Cisco's second album that the directive was given, drop everything and go make that Cisco record work. Well, it didn't work. And once it didn't work, they tried to go back and get my record. It was too late. So we in Miami, we have a meeting with, not gonna say his name, but he was a high-level executive at Def Jam. He was like, yeah, I fucked up. I apologize. I'm gonna make it up to you. We're gonna put out Conversate, which was another song that I did with Tim and Bob and Jazz from Drew Hill singing in the background. He's like, we're gonna put out Conversate. I got you. I fucked up. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, 2 months later, when it's time to put it out, the nigga swore he never said that. Like, nigga, you said it in front of 7 people. I didn't say that. I would have never said that. So that was the first time that I had a damper put on music for me, because the music business made me fall out of love with the music. And I never thought I would get to that point, but that did it for me.
Whoa, ooh. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, baby, here we, all right. See, I'm standing here looking out my window. nights are long and my days are cold, 'cause I don't have you. How can I be so damn demanding? I know you said that it's over now, but I can't let go. Oh yeah, I wanna pick up the phone, Huey, and tell you that you're everything I need and more. If only I could find you. I could call you summer afternoon. Yeah, slow coming down in June. Alright, like a wedding without a groom. Sing it. I'm missing you, baby. I'm the desert without the sand. Oh yeah. Woman without a man. Alright. I'm the ring without a hand. Yes I am. I'm missing you. See, I'm driving around, thought I saw you pass me. Huey, my rearview mirror's playing tricks on me, 'cause you fade away. Maybe I'm just hallucinating, 'cause my loneliness got the best of me, and my heart's so weak. Every day I wanna pick up the phone and tell you that you're everything I need and more. If only I could find you. I could call you summer afternoon. Snow coming down in June. Like a wedding without a groom. I'm missing you. I'm the desert without the sand. Oh yeah, yeah, baby, baby. Without a hand. I'm missing you. I could call you summer afternoon. Cold summer day. Snow coming down in June. Like a wedding without a groom. I'm missing you, baby, baby. You're the woman without a man. I'm the ring without a hand. See, baby, I'm missing you. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sing it. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm missing you. Yeah, 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 yeah. Say yeah, yeah, yeah. Sing it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Say it. I'm missing you. Like a cold summer afternoon. Yeah. Snow coming down in June. Like a wedding without a groom. Oh yeah, I'm missing you. I'm the desert without the sand. Yes I am. Woman without a man. I'm the ring without a hand. I'm missing you. Like a cold summer afternoon. Baby, yeah. Snow coming down in June. Like a wedding without a groom. Ooh, yeah. I'm missing you. I'm missing you. Without the sand. Ooh, babe. Woman without a man. I'm the ring without a hand. I'm missing you. Like a cold summer afternoon. Like a cold. Yeah. Like a wedding without a groom. I'm missing you. I'm the desert without the sand. You're the woman without a man. Oh yeah, babe. Without a hand. I'm missing you. Yeah, 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 yeah. Sing it. I can't sing no more, baby. I'm missing you.
Missing you is probably the best story. This is kind of a long story. So, I got to LA on Monday, right? And I was supposed to go record Missing You on Tuesday. Well, I don't remember what I did, but I lost my voice. So when Tuesday came, I was like, yo, I can't even talk. So I can't sing the song. So they said, okay, just relax, just chill out. So I chilled. Wednesday came, I still couldn't. I'm drinking all type of tea and shit. Thursday came, my voice came back. And me and Ja Rule go to the club. And then we go to the studio and we make Living It Up. And so now my shit is gone. So now it gets to like Friday night. They was like, look, if you don't, that's the last song we did. They was like, if you don't record it today, we can't do the record. So I'm drinking all type of shit all day, but I'm not talking. He was like, okay, just go in and try it. So I go, they play the record in my headphones. I'm like, all right, cool. I record it once through. They was like, can you do it again? I was like, yeah. So I sing it the second time. And when I get to the end, I do a run, and I was like, I could feel that that was like the end of the line. So I'm like, I can't sing no more. I can't sing no more, baby. Now they in the dark like this. And after I said, baby, I'm knocking on the window. Nobody hears me. So I come out the booth and I walk around, I tap them. I'm like, that's it. That's all I got. They was like, I think we got enough. And what's funny is that's everybody's favorite part of the record. And they like, it seemed like, oh, you were just so hurt. No, nigga, I couldn't sing no more. Like I felt it. Like my shit, it was about to be over. And the crazy part about that is that I got nominated for a Grammy for both of those records. The same week I couldn't sing, got nominated for a Grammy for each one of them records. I lost both of them shits, but damn it, it happened. Well, I pushed pause on my shit at that time because I'm like, yo, this is bullshit. Because now, rewinding a little bit, on each one of my projects, I was like, we need to put this out. And Def Jam was like, nah, we're going to put this. And it didn't work. And then they come and be like, yeah, my bad. We should listen to you. This is the third time. And not only are you saying we should have done it, you telling me that you didn't say what you said in front of 7, 8 people. Cause me and Charlie Wilson, you know, that's my dog. I spoke to him. He's like, don't let him steal your joy, baby. Keep gapping. I'm like, yeah, I can't. This is bullshit. Fuck they contract. But now here's the other thing. Now, after that, I did the Rose Experience album. I wrote and recorded the Rose Experience album in 2002. And I went, and Deja Vu was supposed to be the first single. And they came to me and was like, yeah, we love this shit. We need to put Music Soul Child on it. I'm like, no, nigga, we're not putting nobody on it. Because at that point, I had me and Foxy. I had me and Joe. I'm like, no, this is my shit. We're not putting music. And I love music. That's my dude to this day. I'm like, we're not doing that. And I noticed this from being friends with other artists. They'll make records and be like, yo, I'm making this record for me and so-and-so. I never did it like that. I'll make a record, and if it says to me, this sounds like so-and-so, then I'm going to go call so-and-so. If not, like, I'm not going to force it because I'm not into trends. I want to do timeless shit. Just like I have an album I just finished, and we did it, and I'm like, yo, this shit. Now, one of my favorite rap groups ever is Bone Thugs. I'm like, nigga, Bone Thugs. So I DM Crazy Bone, sent him the record. He was like, nigga, I love it. He sent me that shit back in a week. So that's the feature. So for me, the music tells you what's supposed to happen. And I learned that I seen an interview with Michael Jackson. He was like, you need to get out of the way of the music. Let the music tell you what it's supposed to do. So I never go into it like, yo, okay, we need to find somebody like we did with Touch Me, Tease Me. Now that worked. But for me, I make the records. And if the music tells me that we need somebody, then we go get it. In 2004, I asked for a release. And they was like, we're not releasing him. He's the last person Russell signed here. So I kept going, then finally they let me go. And at that point, I wouldn't even think about ever doing any more music. What happened was, in 2009 in May, my grandmother passed. And remember, I told you my grandmother used to have me doing concerts and she would do this type of shit. So you're a little kid, you'll sing for her, and she'll look at you and get up and walk out the room. The fuck? Oh, and she'll be like, yeah, you don't believe that. Let me know when you mean it. So now you got to sing harder. So she passed in May. And then one of my biggest idols, Michael Jackson, passed in June. And so what that did, it made me start going back and listening to the songs that my grandmother used to play, because she made sure all of us knew. Let me tell you, in my family, me and all my cousins, we know everything Ray Charles and everything James Brown. And then Michael Jackson passed in June. So I'm going back listening to all that, and that sparked it back up. It took me back to the beginning, and that's why I need to start doing music again.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Guess what I did today? Those were the words I said to you. It was last night, don't know the exact day. In my hand there was a ring. Then you told me that you love me more than anything in your life. So I asked you, would you do me the honor of being my wife? I will be your man, your protector, your best friend, till my humble life is ended and time begins again. Shouldn't we be happy? Oh yeah. Became just faces. Some people grew apart, but you stayed right in my heart. And so many times, picture this day inside my mind. And for so many years, do it with me, yeah, with me. Take you for my wife, center of my life. I will never ever lead from this choice I made. Ooh, yeah. Come on, we could be strong together for so long. Say my love is strong. Together for so long. Oh, I love you so much, my baby. Could we be happily ever after? Couldn't we be? Leaving you never till forever's long. No, no, I'll never leave you. You. Happily ever after.
Happily Ever After. Happily Ever After was brought to me by Tina Davis, who was at Def Jam, and it actually was a duet. And I heard it, and I was like, so I'm singing it, and I'm like, a wedding song, no? Because you got to think, at that time, I'm like 27, 28, something like that. They was like, yeah, just sing the shit. Okay, so I sang it. And from what I remember, I think we didn't have that much time, so it's like, you got to hurry up. So I did it, and I did it once, and they was like, are you done? So I listened to it. I was like, let me do it one more time. So I did it again, and then we kept it, and it actually worked. I promise you, I didn't know it was gonna be dope like that. But because, and you know what's funny about that? I asked Charlie Wilson one night. I was like, yo, Unc, when y'all left the studio after you made Yearning for Your Love, did you know? He's like, yeah, baby, we knew. I never knew because what I always try to do is make what I like. Which sometimes that can be good, sometimes it can be bad. Like, you know what I mean? You might make some shit and be like, and you know what? I have made shit that I was like, this is the greatest shit ever. And everybody in the studio was like, nah, that ain't it. Well, I'll tell you what I used to say when I first got signed, and it sticks to this day. People used to be like, what do you want to accomplish in the music business? And I would never say like music. I would never say like awards, money. You know what I always wanted to accomplish? My moms and pops used to listen to Motown like it just came out. And so what I always wanted to accomplish, I wanted to make music that people was going to want to listen to in 20, 25, 30 years like that. That was what I wanted to accomplish. And I feel like I have on some level, but that's what I wanted because you never die. The money, if you do what you do and you do it out of love, the money's going to come. You can't do shit for money. I mean, money is cool. I like money, but you got to do it for the right reasons. You know what I mean? And that's what I always wanted to accomplish. It's still what I want to accomplish. Every album I've done since then has been that same shit. Like I just want to make timeless music.
What's up? I go by the name of Raymon, Gay City Stand Up. From Greensboro, North Carolina. Greensboro, North Carolina, it's like in the center. It's like the Triad, Piedmont. Small town, but it's big too. Everybody know everybody. It's home. I always had like a musical bone in my body. My granddad is a jazz musician back home, and it's just always been in me, but I played sports growing up. So about 2017, I got a call to the studio. I just came up there, did one song, and from then on, I just kept going. It was just, we was playing around. I always used to play around, like, we used to freestyle, like, in the 8th grade, like, when I was, like, in middle school. We used to always, like, have freestyle battles and whatnot. And then that day in the studio was just, it was just fun for real. And then I fell in love with it. So I kept going back the next day, and then the next day I went back, to the next week I went back. And then 4 years later, we here. Well, I didn't want to go into it. I wanted to come into it, be taken serious. I didn't want to come into it be as no joke because it was just, I was passionate about it off the rip. So when I came in before I let anybody really hear anything, I tried to polish up first. So my first song, it was called Friends. No, that wasn't the first song. It was called Stack It Up. It was some shit we put on SoundCloud, but it was trash, but it was still like, you know, he got something there. So some people embraced it. Some people was like, oh, here we go. Then from my peers, just kept letting them hear shit. They saw me keep going, and then they just started embracing it. Like, everybody was like, oh, yeah. Started building my name up in the town. Me and my partner, shout out to Jerry Shaw, we came up with this song. It was called Bounce With Me. We went over like Bow Wow beat. It was like Bounce With Me. And I was sitting around we was in the neighborhood one day, and I was just sitting there. And next thing I know, a car comes speeding up the street. Like, my song was playing in the nigga car. And I was just like, damn. Like, now I gotta keep going. It's just like every moment I'm about to quit, man, something always just pop up where somebody be like, yo, you really changed my life with your music. Or some people ever told me I prevented them from committing suicide, like hearing my shit. And that right there is like just pivotal for me to keep going. I feel like that's just God telling me, keep going, don't stop. Pretty stupid.
Still never folded. With weight on my shoulders. Come pop a level. They don't wanna dance with the devil. Plenty have tried. Met their demise. Who want the pressure? Come dance with the devil. Put it in their face and make them feel it. You see that's good and that's great, let me show you the difference. Don't touch the soul like Midas. Nah, it's too late to care who like us. You could tell you about them stories from that white truck. I was making hits before I mic'd up. Put a band around my Jackson like I'm Mike Bros. I ain't your average Joe. My city wish me well, now I'm good.
to go. We bet the house on you, Billy, they go ahead and bring it home. Blessings tenfold, the only foe we know. It's over their head just like an overthrow. Wanna dance with Diablo. AMG powder white like a Medellin Gustavo. Mile tie so that his get sent pronto. Call up stupid, he gon' do it over tacos. Still never folded. With weight on my shoulders. Come pop a level. They don't wanna dance with the devil. Plenty have tried. Met they demise. Who want the pressure? Come dance with the devil. Flip it to the 4 to 8, like I'm Black Mamba. My enemies wanna give me shells like Obama. They ain't as tough as they seem, they just imposters. Playing on the gram, my niggas playing with them grams. Told me drop the pork, but we still going ham. They call my nigga with an old boy like he can. I wanna see my niggas with matching lambs, not matching sales. Fit the bitches like a corn, head or tail. Pussy come with no smell, foot on the gas, no shell. We stacking green up like hell. My bitches ask 2 questions, cash out for sale. Before my brother take the stand, he'll ride in hell. Dog used to send my boats through the mail. I was spilling through the box like Braille. I couldn't call the postman and ask him why it wasn't there. Paying visits to my killers, we locked in like Jamaican hair. Come and dance with the devil. Still never folded. With weight on my shoulders. Come pop a level. They don't wanna dance with the devil. Plenty have tried. Met they demise. Who want the pressure? Come dance with the devil.
Diablo, we was in Atlanta. The first night we got there, we was with my peoples. Got to the studio, we was just trying to find ideas. Shout out to Chris Beats, he sent me the beat. So I loaded it up. Couldn't really find the hook. Then I looked out there with OG. We used to always say this saying like, you ain't trying to dance with the devil in the pale moonlight, so that's how the hook came. And from then on, I just kept building it. And by the end of the night, we was singing that shit from there on. With Diablo, just put it in their face and make them feel it. You see that's good and that's great, let me show you the difference. Like, it was just how I feel about myself. Like, everybody think they good, I just feel like I'm great at what I do. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm learning and I'm building every day. And with Diablo, it's just little nuances in there, like, referencing to my people. Is like, that was really for my homies. Like, just understanding. That was one of them where we appreciate it for what the content means, and it's little nuances that they understand. Like, Free Stupid, he gonna do it over tacos. Free one of my friends, he got locked up. You know what I'm saying? And just me paying homage.
This is something they can't understand, you feel me? And we'll never learn.
Bill, this is important.
Yeah. Sometimes I wish I had the feeling back. Pop send me a throwback picture, I remember. Every morning send his love, make sure I send it back. I've been sticking to the script, I gotta finish that. I owe my son the word, I gotta give him that. Hit before at midnight, thank God I witnessed it. I feel guilty when I'm gone, like I ain't shit for that. But complacency at home, it ain't no risk in it. And time flies fast, you can't get it back. Life is temporary, like a Hinata. Friends, love, relationships, and all of that. Same niggas you care about, stab you in your bed. Will always for me, okay, roger that. I ain't showing no remorse, I'm on all of that. Old hoes, I change your heart, they keep calling, man, keep calling. Bitch, get off your knees, you ain't capping it. Or you like the way I snap on shit. Or you wanna leave me head to toe like Ludacris. I ain't new to this, girl, I'm true to this. She just want that look cool to it. Beat it and I dash like I'm cool. Some States, get up in it, go Ashanti, I gon' put you coming, baby. I ain't even take off my Nikes, I just do it like I'm Phil. Bitch, I put in pain, just go through it. Tell me what it is. Look around, baby, just enjoy the view here. Shit, it is what it is. Look around, fuck whoever ain't here. Top flow shit, this that through the most shit. Do it for when they ain't notice. They gon' pay us what they owe us. They gon' pay us what they owe. Second verse is off the tit out. I had to go and had to wing it like on Rick Ross. I watch this shit come in 360 like it's GameStop. My niggas still slinging birds like a gang cop. In the gym working on my belly like I'm Lennox. All the hoes still love me, I'm a heartthrob. I'ma be this way till my heart stop. I'ma be this way till my heart stop. Yeah, push me to the edge, hope that I fall off. On guard. far from the haters like I'm Fort Knox. Shooters ready to work and they won't call off. Doggy said he can't get surgical with a sawed off. Niggas know I'm goated, on my fault I'm boated. Said I would drown without you, then I started floating. Niggas were pissed, now they think they going. Pointing to the fence, where you think it's going? It's out of here, nigga. Gay City.
Do the most shit for when they notice. They gon' pay us what they owe us.
Yeah.
Top flow. Top flow. Top flow.
Top Flow. Shout out to my boy Max. I used to have this studio where I recorded, I call it the Top Flow. So all the music gets recorded at their studio called the Top Floor. So one day we were just sitting there, beat came through. Bill did the beat. Shout out to Bill did the beat. Came through, Top Flow. Look around, just enjoy the view. Sometimes I wish I had the feeling back. Pop sent me a throwback picture, I remember that. Every morning my dad sent me like motivational quotes or scriptures. You know what I'm saying? I make sure I tell them I love them. You don't understand what they do for me. Like, they always be hitting spot on when he sent it. And then my son, like, sometimes when I be gone, I feel like, they're like, you know, balancing music and fatherhood, it's always like you feel guilty sometimes, but you know, it's for the bigger purpose, for the end goal, what I'm chasing, so I can give them the world, so.